Hello, welcome to Epiphany Lutheran Church in Richmond, Virginia. I'm Kevin Barger, the Director of Music Ministry. This is our Music Minute. We're taking a look at the hymns we'll be using in worship tomorrow on the 25th Sunday after Pentecost. And we're going to go in order today. So we'll start with our gathering hymn, Come Ye Thankful People Come. This was written with a harvest festival kind of thing in mind. And Alfred, who wrote it, was a priest in a rural parish. And the tune was actually from another hymn, so it was out there beforehand. And that tune got its name from the church where the composer served as organist for 47 years. So I have a few more years to go before I can claim that as he did. So this is Come Ye Thankful People, Come. All right. Next, I said we were going to go in order, and actually we are not. So we're going to do one of the communion hymns. We're going to do two communion hymns this week. So we'll start with Let Us Talents and Tongues Employ. And the words were, again, written for this tune. And it's interesting, the composer of the tune and the author of the text both lived on the same street. So she decided she was going to take this adapted Jamaican folk tune, and she asked the other person on the street to write a text for it. He decided to write a celebratory hymn that was part of the Eucharist Communion Calypso. So this is Let Us Talents and Tongues Employ. So, lots of fun with that one. And if you were here last week, you got to hear our steel cross sticks, our steel drum choir, play that with the chancel choir at the later service. That was a lot of fun too. Moving on now to our hymn of the day, As Saints of Old. And this was written for the 40th anniversary celebration at the Royal York Hotel in Toronto in 1960. It was written for the National Council of Churches in the United States in cooperation with the Hymn Society. It was a new hymn on stewardship, and it was a folk tune that was notated by Ralph Vaughan Williams, who you might know more popularly from For All the Saints, Sine Nomine. This is As Saints of Old, in jazz style. We won't sing it with quite that much jazz tomorrow. Okay. Our next, I'm going to do the other communion hymn, which we've done before fairly recently. That is For Such a Time as This. That was written by Jonathan Rudman. You might recall is a fairly newly ordained pastor in the ELCA. And he was commissioned to write a song for the 2015 ELCA Worship Jubilee in Atlanta, which was called to be a Living Voice. And it was also in anticipation of the 500th anniversary of the Reformation. And it was a focus on a Christian's call or our vocation. This followed, the composition of this actually followed the killing of the Emanuel 9 earlier in 2015. So that was really sort of the impetus for such a time as this, where it's adapting a verse from Esther, and the song continues to ask, into what reforming time of change are we called today, and how can we be a part of that change? The song is written, it's really flexible, you can sing it without music, it's pretty easy, it's just a little refrain kind of thing. So this is For Such a Time as This. So you can hear just how short that is, and we will just sing it repeatedly, sort of like we're on a loop. And then last but not least, we have Rejoice Ye Pure in Heart. And this is our sending hymn. It was written in 1865. It's a hymn of pilgrimage, and it was written as a procession of the Peterborough Chorale Festival in Peterborough Cathedral in England. The tune Marian was written for this text, and it was sung for the first time in Trinity Episcopal Church in New York City. Rejoice ye pure in heart. Another piece to sing. So thanks for joining us this evening to learn a little bit about these hymns, and we'll look forward to seeing you in worship in person tomorrow, perhaps at 8:30 or 11 o'clock in our sanctuary. The 11 o'clock service will be live streamed on YouTube. Thanks again for joining. We'll see you again next week.